students, welcome again. Today is our sixth lecture on electrostatics. In previous lecture, we have done electric field intensity and we have calculated the electric field intensity due to a point charge. We have also calculated the electric field intensity due to a dipole. We have calculated the field on the axial line of the dipole and also calculated on the perpendicular bisector of the dipole. In dipole, we have two charges. Now today we will discuss how to calculate the electric field intensity due to continuous charge distribution. The continuous charge distribution we have already discussed. We have linear charge distribution where the charge is distributed over a certain length. Then we have surface charge distribution where charge is distributed over a certain surface. Then we have volume charge distribution where the charge is enclosed in a certain volume. Now today we will apply the continuous charge distribution for calculating the electric field intensity. For this, we will take the first example as a ring. We know that in case of ring, the charge is distributed over its length. So how to apply to calculate the electric field intensity due to a ring? We know the method that while calculating the field, first we consider a small element dq, then we are writing the field due to this small element dq, and then we integrating the expression. So let's start with the electric field intensity due to a ring. So the topic is electric field intensity due to a thin circular ring. And we are calculating the field on the axial line of the ring. On the axial line of the ring. So electric field intensity due to a thin circular ring, assume that the linear charge density of the ring is lambda. So first consider a thin circular ring. The charge is distributed over the ring. So it is a case of linear charge distribution. O is the center, R is the radius, and you want to calculate the field at point P at a distance x from the center of the ring. So the method is that first you take a small element dq. So we have a small element dq having length, small length dl, and the charge is dq. So for this charge dq, write down the expression for the electric field intensity at P. So first we will connect this one. The direction of the electric field would be in this d. This angle take theta, resolving dE into two components. This angle also theta. This component becomes dE cos theta, and this becomes dE sin theta. No problem. So we have considered the small element d2, and then we have written the electric field intensity at P, and assuming this field is d. Now we are resolving the field into two components, d cos theta and d sin theta, and one can write down dE is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon dq, and the distance is root under r square plus x square. So the expression becomes r square plus x square. So this is the electric field intensity at P. Now if you look the diagram, then better to take a symmetry, means consider one more element just opposite to dq, diametrically opposite to dq. So consider one more element here, dq. And again you write down the electric field intensity at P. And assume this field is also d, resolving we find this one d vertical component d e sin theta, and we have one more component in the horizontal direction d cos theta. So if you look the diagram, we find that the magnitude of these two fields DE is equal in magnitude, and the vertical component d sin theta and d sin theta are equal in magnitude and opposite in direction. So these two components will cancel out each other, and the horizontal component d cos theta should be added. But this is only for two pairs of small element. So whenever we take two diametrically opposite elements, for each pair the vertical component cancel out each other and the horizontal component should be added. So we have many elements of the ring, and for better say in pair we are taking many elements, and each pair the vertical component cancel out and the horizontal component would be added. So we have many components along the horizontal direction like d cos theta, d cos d3, d4 and so on. So the meaning of this one is that the net electric field on the axial line of the ring is only along the horizontal direction. So one can write down electric field net integration of d sin theta, d cos theta, integration of d cos theta. And the value of dE we know, one can write down 1 by 4 pi epsilon dq r square plus cos square into cos theta. Now if we look the expression, cos theta can be written as base by hypotenuse. So base is x, hypotenuse is root under r square plus x square. So we have 1 by 4 pi epsilon dq r square plus x square, cos theta is base, root under. Here the charge is variable, so we'll take the integration of charge. One can also write dq is equal to lambda dl, and then integration of dl will come. Here we are taking the integration of charge only. So the constant term we have 1 by 4 pi epsilon integration x by root under, not root under, r square plus x square 3 by 2 dq. Finally x by 4 pi epsilon, x by 4 pi epsilon x by 1 by r square x square 3 by 2 integration of dt. So we have x by 4 pi epsilon 1 by r square plus x square 3 by 2, and integration of total charge is q. So finally the expression is qx by 4 pi epsilon r square plus x square 3 by 2. So that is the electric field intensity on the axial line of the ring. Now take some special case. Suppose that the point P is at the center of the ring. If the point is at the center of the ring, what is the value of x? X is 0. So electric field intensity at the center of the ring is, so special case, if x is equal to 0, electric field is 0, center. So electric field intensity is 0 at the center of the ring. We can also prove this electric field 0 by symmetry. Here the charge, the electric field will be directed in all directions, and each electric field will cancel out each other. One more case, Assume that the point P is very large distance, at very large distance, so x is much greater than ring radius of the ring. So cancelling the value of r and x cancel, we are getting electric field 1 by 4 pi epsilon q by x square. This electric field intensity is similar to electric field intensity due to a point charge. So for large distance, we assume that the entire charge of the ring is concentrated at the center of the ring. So that is the observation from this result. So that is the electric field intensity due to a charged ring. Second application we'll take a thin finite rod and calculate the electric field intensity due to the finite rod. So the topic is electric field intensity. Electric field intensity due to a thin rod due to a thin finite rod. Thin finite rod. And also in case of thin finite rod, we will try to calculate the field on the axial line, and we also try to calculate the field on the perpendicular bisector. So consider a rod of length L and charge is distributed over the length. So again, it is a case of linear charge distribution. We have taken a rod whose length is L. Suppose we want to find the field at P, and P is at a distance, say E. Now the technique is that first again we have to take a small element of charge dq, and then you write down the electric field intensity due to this small element dq. So take here a small element dx. Here the charge is dq and dx is at a distance x from point P. Okay, so we have taken a small element having charge dq, length dx. The dx element is at a distance x from point P. Now we are going to write down the electric field intensity at P due to charge dq. So electric field intensity at P can be written as 1 by 4 pi epsilon dq, and the distance is x square. No problem writing this expression. Now we want to calculate the total electric field intensity. 1 by 4 pi epsilon dq can be written lambda dx by x square, because we know lambda is dq by dx. So for total field at P, we need the integration. So let's integrate this one. So electric field net integration of this term lambda dx by x square. Take the constant term outside. What are the constant term? Lambda is constant, 4 pi epsilon is constant, integration of 1 by x square dx. Lambda by 4 pi epsilon. All of you know the integration of 1 by x square dx is minus 1 by x. And what is the limit we are expecting here? If you consider the first element here, suppose the first element of the entire rod is here, then the distance of the first element from here is A. So the limit is, lower limit is x is equal to A. And the last element is here, so the total distance from this point is A plus L. So here the limit is x is equal to A plus L. So here A to A plus L. Got it? Then we put the value upper limit minus lower limit. I am writing here. So electric field net here can be written as lambda by 4 pi epsilon. What is the upper limit? Upper limit is minus 1 by A plus L. Upper limit minus lower limit. Minus minus plus. So lambda by 4 pi epsilon, solving this, A plus L into A. So we have minus A plus L. Cancel out. We have lambda L 4 pi epsilon A plus L into A. Lambda L can be written as total charge, so we have Q by 4 pi epsilon A plus L into A, because lambda total charge by total L. So that is the expression for the electric field intensity at P due to a finite rod. So no any problem. Let's see again. We have written the electric field intensity at P due to a small element of charge dq, which is 1 by 4 pi epsilon dq by x square. dq can be written as lambda dx because we know lambda is dq by dx. Then integrating 1 by 4 pi epsilon lambda dx by x square. Then take constant, lambda is constant, 4 pi epsilon is constant, and we have 1 by x square dx. Now how to take the entire rod? So entire rod can be taken, the first element starts from here, which is at a distance A. So we have retained the lower limit x is equal to A. The upper limit is A plus L. So we have A plus L, and then we have integrated. And here the integration, we are using the formula x to the power n dx. So the formula is integration of x to the power n dx is x to the power n plus 1 by n plus 1. We have used this formula while finding the integration of 1 by x square dx. So that is the field we have calculated on the axial line. Now we try to calculate the field due to finite rod on the perpendicular bisector of the given rod. Now we'll find the electric field intensity due to the same rod on the perpendicular bisector of this rod. This is another application of linear charge density. So electric field intensity due to a thin finite rod on the perpendicular bisector. On the perpendicular bisector of the dipole. So again you take a thin infinite rod. The rod is finite. We have this thin finite rod having charge, linear charge density. We want to calculate the field at P at a perpendicular distance. It is like a dipole. For simplicity, take the entire length of the rod is 2L. One can also take L, no problem. This point is O. So entire length of the rod is 2L. and we want to calculate the field at P. And in linear charge distribution, the technique is that you take a small element dq. So we are taking the small element dq here. This dq containing charge, a small element containing charge dq, and this is dx. And dx is at a small distance x from point O. First of all, we connect this small element, and the direction of the electric field is this side. The direction of the electric field would be so. This is the direction of the electric field dE, and take this angle theta. So again, resolving dE into two components. This line, so this angle is theta. Again, we have dE cos theta, and this is d sin theta. And one can write down the electric field intensity at P field dE can be written as 1 by 4 pi epsilon dq by r square plus x square, where the distance is root under r square plus x square. 1 by 4 pi epsilon, putting dq as lambda dx r square plus x square. Lambda is dq by dx. Now look the symmetry. We consider one more element on the left hand side of the point O. So if we consider one more element which is the same distance from point O, and then writing the electric field for this one, the direction of this electric field is D, resolving D in two components. Once again, the horizontal component d sin theta and the vertical component d cos theta. So by symmetry we find that the horizontal component cancel out each other and the net electric field is in the vertical direction. So electric field net can be written as integration of d cos theta. Because for each pair of opposite element on both sides of O, the vertical component adds up and the horizontal component cancel out each other. Now the value of d is 1 by 4 pi epsilon lambda dx r square plus x square, and also put the value of cos theta based by hypotenuse r by root under r square plus x square. Constant term, lambda constant, r constant, 4 pi epsilon integration of dx r square plus x square 3 by 2. Now writing the value of dx, for this we need a relation in this triangle tan theta x by r. So x can be written r tan theta. Differentiating both sides, we find dx is equal to r sec square theta d theta. This is the value of dx. So dx can be written as r sec square theta d theta. Also writing r square x square, r square plus x square, r square. What is the value of x? The value of x is r tan theta. So we have r square tan square theta. Taking common r square common, we have 1 plus tan square theta. And tan square theta is sec square theta. So r square sec square theta. Now putting these two values r square plus x square and dx in this expression, we have integration of dx by r square plus x square 3 by 2 dx is r sec square theta d theta r sec square theta d theta and r square can be written as r square sec square theta r square sec square theta 3 by 2. This further can be written as r sec square theta d theta 2 cancel r cube sec cube theta. Now 1 by r square outside sec 1 by r square integration of cos theta d theta. Integration of cos theta is 1 by r square. It can be written sin theta. So for this value, putting this expression, suppose this is the expression number A in this expression. So equation A becomes, therefore equation A becomes electric field net lambda r 4 pi epsilon 1 by r square sin theta. Lambda 4 pi epsilon and cancel 1 r, so we have 1 by r, and sin theta can be written as perpendicular by hypotenuse. So in this triangle, perpendicular is x, hypotenuse is root under r square plus x square, and the limit for this one, this rod is extended. Total length we have taken 2l, so from 0 it is x is equal to l, and from 0 to this side, left hand side, x can be written minus l. So the x is variable from lower limit minus l to plus l. So we have lambda by 4 pi epsilon r. Now upper limit l by root under r square plus l square, and minus plus l by root under r square plus l square. This can be written as so we have net electric field lambda by 4 pi epsilon r. This becomes 2l by root under r square plus l square. 2 cancel, so we have lambda by 2 pi epsilon r l upon r square plus l square. So this is the expression for the electric field intensity on the perpendicular bisector of a rod of finite length. So we have calculated the electric field intensity on the axial line, and also we have calculated the electric field intensity on the perpendicular bisector of the finite rod. Next class we will try to find the electric field intensity due to infinitely straight rods. So for today's class it is up to this point. So okay, thank you.